Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's guaranteed to make you want to clutch your wallet's taxes. Specifically, we're looking at the states with the highest tax burdens in the entire US of A. Now, we're not talking about some abstract philosophical debate here. This is about cold, hard cash, or rather, the lack thereof, that directly impacts your life. Whether you're a high-flying Wall Street tycoon or just trying to afford a reasonably priced bagel in this economy. So buckle up, dear viewers, as we embark on a thrilling roller coaster ride through property taxes, sales taxes, income taxes, and maybe even some obscure levies you never knew existed. Let's see if your state makes the list of America's top taxing powerhouses. Spoiler alert, if you live in a place with, let's say, ambitious infrastructure projects, there's a good chance you might be on this list. New York! The city that never sleeps, probably because it's too busy working to pay its exorbitant taxes. Look, New York is many things. A cultural melting pot, a global financial hub, a place where you can get a decent bagel at 3 a.m. But one thing it's not known for is being easy on your wallet, especially when it comes to taxes. We're talking a hefty state income tax, with rates that could make even a hedge fund manager wince. Then there's the property tax. Oh boy, the property tax. Let's just say owning a piece of the Big Apple doesn't come cheap, and don't even get me started on the sales tax, which seems to magically inflate the price of everything from a subway ride to a cup of bodega coffee. But hey, at least you get some world-class museums and Broadway shows for all that, right? That's what we're supposed to tell ourselves, isn't it? It's like an abusive relationship with a really glamorous partner. But seriously, folks, New Yorkers face a hefty tax burden. And it's not just the wealthy feeling the pinch. From property taxes to income taxes and sales taxes, the cost of living in the Empire State can be significant. Next up, we're heading to the Golden State, where the beaches are beautiful, the weather is perpetually Instagrammable, and the income tax rates, well, let's just say they're high enough to make you consider moving to a different state. California boasts one of the highest state income tax rates in the nation, a fact not lost on its residents, particularly those who aren't, tech millionaires. And if you thought recent years might have brought some relief, think again. Recent changes to the tax code haven't exactly screamed taxpayer-friendly. But hey, at least you can enjoy your avocado toast and your non-dairy, gluten-free, ethically sourced artisanal latte while contemplating your shrinking paycheck. It's all about perspective, right? Of course, California argues that these taxes fund its progressive policies and social programs. And to be fair, they've got a point. But it's a delicate balancing act, and one that has many Californians wondering if the cost of living in paradise is simply getting too high. From the Golden State, we journey eastward to the Garden State, where the tomatoes are juicy, the diners are plentiful, and the property taxes, well, let's just say they're higher than a stack of pancakes at your local diner after a late-night Springsteen concert. New Jersey consistently ranks among the states with the highest property taxes in the nation. We're talking rates that would make a real estate agent blush if real estate agents were in the business of blushing about such things, which, let's be honest, they're probably not. Now, some argue that these high property taxes fund excellent schools and public services. And again, there's some truth to that. But it's a tough pill to swallow for homeowners, especially those on fixed incomes, who feel like they're getting priced out of their own neighborhoods. So if you're thinking of moving to New Jersey for the charming seaside towns and the proximity to New York City, just be prepared to shell out a hefty chunk of your income to your local tax collector. Our Midwestern adventure takes us to Illinois, where the cornfields stretch as far as the eye can see, the blues music scene is legendary, and the sales taxes? Well, let's just say they're enough to make you sing the blues about your dwindling purchasing power. Illinois has a rather complex sales tax system, with a dizzying array of state, county, and local taxes that can add up faster than you can say deep dish pizza. Seriously, it's like they're trying to win some kind of award for most confusing sales tax structure. Now, some of these taxes are earmarked for specific purposes like infrastructure projects or education funding. But when you're standing at the cash register watching the total climb higher and higher, it's hard not to feel like you're being nickel and dimed to death. So, if you're planning a shopping spree in the Windy City, just be prepared to open your wallet a little wider than you might expect. And maybe brush up on your Illinois tax code while you're at it, for fun. We arrive now in Connecticut, a state often associated with affluence, leafy suburbs, and yes, some hefty taxes. While Connecticut has its share of the usual suspects: income tax, property tax, you know the drill. Today, we're focusing on a different beast, the estate tax. Now, for most of us regular folks, estate taxes might seem like something only billionaires need to worry about. But in Connecticut, the estate tax kicks in at a surprisingly low threshold, meaning even those with relatively modest estates could find themselves facing a hefty tax bill. This has led some to dub it the death tax, arguing that it's unfair to tax people on assets they've already paid taxes on during their lifetime. Others argue that it's a necessary tool for ensuring a fairer distribution of wealth. Whatever your stance, there's no denying that Connecticut's estate tax is something to consider, especially if you're planning on leaving any assets behind for your loved ones. Our tax tour now takes us to Massachusetts, a state with a rich history, a legacy of innovation, and you guessed it, a rather robust tax system. Now, Massachusetts residents are used to high expectations. This is, after all, the state that gave us Harvard, MIT, and the freaking revolution. So, it should come as no surprise that those high expectations extend to the state's tax revenue. And by high expectations, I mean they're really good at extracting money from their residents. Massachusetts has a flat income tax rate, which sounds simple enough until you realize that that flat rate is relatively high. They've also got property taxes that could make a homeowner in any other state weep with envy, or maybe just weep. But hey, those taxes fund some pretty great public services, from top-notch schools to a robust public transportation system. So while nobody enjoys paying taxes, at least in Massachusetts, you can kind of see where your money is going. Hold on to your crab cakes, folks, because we're about to delve into the tax landscape of Maryland, a state that loves to compare itself to its neighbors, especially when it comes to taxes. Maryland has a progressive income tax system, meaning the more you earn, the higher your tax rate. Fair enough, right? Well, it gets a little more complicated when you factor in things like property taxes, sales taxes, and the ever-popular, let's just add a little something extra, local taxes. The result is a tax burden that often leaves Maryland residents feeling like they're getting squeezed a little tighter than their friends in neighboring states like Virginia and Pennsylvania. Of course, Maryland argues that its taxes support a high quality of life with good schools, well-maintained roads, and a thriving arts scene. And they've got a point. But it's a constant balancing act, and one that has many Marylanders keeping a close eye on their neighbors' tax rates. Let's be honest, when you think of Minnesota, low taxes probably isn't the first thing that springs to mind, but hey, at least they're not afraid to poke fun at themselves, right? And they've got those lovely lakes and Prince, so they've got that going for them. But back to the taxes. Minnesota has a progressive income tax system with rates that are, shall we say, on the higher end of the spectrum. They've also got property taxes that can be a bit of a burden, especially for homeowners. However, Minnesota also offers a range of tax deductions and credits aimed at providing some relief to taxpayers. These include deductions for educational expenses, contributions to retirement accounts, and even the cost of those essential winter clothes. For when you have to venture out into the tundra to file your taxes in person. So, while Minnesota's taxes might not be for the faint of heart, at least they offer a few lifelines to help taxpayers stay afloat. Vermont. Land of rolling hills, picturesque villages, maple syrup, Bernie Sanders, and you guessed it, some pretty progressive tax policies. Now, Vermont is known for its commitment to social justice and environmental protection, and its tax system reflects those values. They've got a progressive income tax structure, meaning the more you earn, the more you contribute. And while their property taxes might not be as high as some other states on this list, they're nothing to sneeze at either. Vermont has also been at the forefront of various tax reform efforts, often experimenting with new ideas and approaches. Some of these have been more successful than others, but hey, you have to admire their willingness to try new things. So, if you're looking to live in a state that puts its money where its values are, Vermont might just be the place for you. Just be prepared to open your wallet a little wider to support those values. And finally, we arrive in Oregon, a state known for its stunning natural beauty, its craft beer scene, and its unique approach to taxation. Now here's the thing about Oregon, they don't have a sales tax. I know, right? It seems too good to be true. And well, it kind of is. Because while Oregon might not have a sales tax, they more than make up for it with their income tax, which is one of the highest in the nation. Seriously, they're like the hold my beer state of income tax rates. This means that while you might save a few bucks on your groceries or that new pair of hiking boots, you're going to feel it come tax time. So, is Oregon's tax system a fair trade-off? Well, that's a matter of perspective. But one thing's for sure, it's definitely unique. And there you have it, folks. Our whirlwind tour of some of America's highest tax states has come to an end. Hopefully you've learned a thing or two, or at the very least are now sufficiently terrified about your future tax burden. Remember, taxes are a complex and ever-changing landscape. What's true today might be different tomorrow, especially if a certain someone decides to tinker with the tax code again. So stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay funny. Because if we can't laugh at the absurdity of it all, then what's the point? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful videos. Let us know in the comments which state surprised you the most.